Hey Stamping friends, welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachel Coon and it is our wonderful Wednesday. Today I'll be sharing with you how to use some of our fun products that we have with our soon to be retiring products that you will add to your must get list before the end of June. Go ahead and hold while I flip and we'll get started. All right, so for Wonderful Wednesday, how it works is when you order from me from my online store today on a Wednesday or any Wednesday the month of June, I will send you the Wonderful Wednesday gift. And for this month is the Pebbles Enamel Shapes. These are going to retire by the end of June. So they are even on a discounted price at this time. So if you love these, be sure to order on a Wednesday and I'll send you your own pack for free, or order them online any time of the week and you can get them at a discount as well. Just make sure that when you do order, you go ahead and use my hostess code for the month of June and I will send you some extra happy mail with that order. All right, for our card today, it is pretty awesome. I'm using actually two stamp sets. One is our Let's Set Sail. Let me show you that one a little bit. So we have this awesome piece right here that creates a water look. We have a couple of sayings, our sails themselves, the center sail, kind of like the pole and the boat, I guess, and then our birds here. We'll be using just a handful of these today, mostly this piece here, and I'll show you how to make some really cool extra images with that one. And then we are using, it's called the Gentle Waves, and this is a background stamp. It is huge. You'll need our largest block or your stamp apparatus in order to use it. And this is a great one to have if you have any other water, beach, lighthouse, anything that deals with water stamp set. This is a great one to go along with it. And this is one that is retiring the end of this month of June. So if you love this look, be sure to grab it and put it on your must get list before the month is over. All right, let me show you our card. It's pretty awesome and fun. You can see how we've created that two-tone background with our sand on the bottom and our water on the top. And I did a little bit of blending on the very top for our skyline as well. Then we have our pebbles down here, which is part of our Wonderful Wednesday gift. We've done some white embossing here and we've bannered our edge. And then we have this cute little 2.5 by 2.5 frame looking of our sailboat here. So let me go ahead and show you how we can make this card using the products from Stampin' Up and on my online store. First, let's start with our card base. You want a basic white, thick, and we have it measured at the 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And for all my measurements, be sure to visit my blog to see all those either in the comments below if you're watching this on Facebook and on the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. Which, super exciting news, I hit my 1,000 subscribers goal yesterday morning. So thank you. If you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe and help my watchers, my viewers grow even more and more. I love that you guys are here watching and supporting me as I continue to share what I love to do with you. Okay, next, our pieces that you'll need are our Bermuda Bay mat. That will match along with our basic white. This is what we'll stamp our main piece onto. And then we'll have another set of matting with the Night of Navy and a basic white. So here's our Night of Navy and our basic white. That's a 2.5 by 2.5, and that's a 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. So those are our main pieces there. I did do a little bit of pre-stamping for our sails, and I'll show you how I did that. So here's our sails for our sailboat, and I've used our Night of Navy and our Bermuda Bay, and then I have just punched out the center of our sailboat with the Early Espresso color. I find the center is sometimes really hard to stamp and punch out because it's just so narrow. I went ahead and I added our white embossing on our banner piece already, so that way we'll just skip that step for this video. But no, you'll need the white embossing powder, the heat tool, and Versamark in order to create this look. Okay, so let me show you the tip that I had for Tuesday's tip and show you why it's so awesome. When you're using our builder punch, so we have this awesome sailboat builder punch to cut out or punch out our pieces after we stamp them. Or if we're just using paper like our bottom piece here, you just punch it out with no stamping needed. But if you are doing stamping and you want to make sure you line it up right, what you do is you make a guide. So for this, how you can do it is that, see, I already have my pieces on my block here, and that's how I stamped them earlier. But what you would do is just take it off, and you're going to fit it into the pieces of your guide facing down like that. You'll do it for both pieces. I know these stamps look stained, but don't worry. They are stained, but they don't transfer. It's just that color that I use will just stay on there. Okay, once you have those where you want it in your guide, take your clear block and go above it and pick up those stamps. Now I can stamp these two in the same color at the same time, and then when it goes to punch it out, they will line up perfectly. So that's my quick tip on that one for you. What I did for this one is I changed up. I stamped it twice, once in the Bermuda Bay, once in the Night and Navy, and then I'm switching the direction of my cells for this card. So that's my extra tip there. If you want to make more than one, you could just switch which cell goes where. Okay, let's go and do some stamping now that I have those tips out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and do our basic white one first. That's the more rectangle one. That's the 4 by 5 1/4. And we are going to grab our gentle waves. So this is no joke, is huge, a huge, huge stamp. It is a background stamp for a reason, because it covers a lot of space. That is why we are using this giant block, which I think, let's find it, there we go, is the F block. You can see it right here on the side. Maybe it might be too clear to see, but right here, Stampin' Up labels their blocks, you know which one you'll need for this one. If you don't have this, like I said, the Stamparatus would work great. And even if you do have this, the Stamparatus is still really great to use with these huge, huge stamps, because if you have small hands like me, sometimes it's hard. Look, I can barely like hold it with one hand. So when I use this one, I am a double hander. All right, let's go ahead and flip this over. You can see that it has more of a darker shade here on the bottom, and on the top it's a little bit more less inking. So we're going to flip it over just like that so we know how we want to stamp it on our piece. And what we're going to do is grab first our crumb cake. That's one of my favorite shades of color. And we're going to just work on our sand. So close your ink up, and we're going to keep it face down so we can see it. Let me scoot it so you can see better. There we go. And I'm just going to go on the bottom quarter of this one. So not all the way halfway, but I'm going to just ink it all the way across. I'll do a couple times to make sure it looks like it's nicely inked, like that. So halfway would be right about there. So that's about a little more than a quarter, but less than half. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our pool party ink, open that up, and do the same thing for the rest of the top. So I'm going to get all to the top, and then I'm going to get to where the two pieces, you can kind of see where they're going to meet. And it's okay to have them overlap a little bit. You rather have overlapping than nothing there at all. And for this one, looks great because the sand and water do overlap. I live really close to the ocean, and so I see it often. Every day I can see a sailboat from my bedroom window. And so this card is super fun for me because it is what I see all the time. All right, we're carefully going to flip this over, and we're going to have it go onto our grid sheet, the rest of the sides that won't fit on the piece. I'm going to flip it over out of screen so that way I don't drop it. There we go. And I'm going to line it up so it's going to go a little bit lower on the bottom, and make sure I'm leaving a little bit of white space on top. Press down, get it nice and firm, and lift up. Ooh, I love it. Super cool. You can kind of see where I didn't press hard enough right here, but I still like that look. And a lot of it will be covered with the pieces we have. But there we have this two-tone looking of our water with where it meets our sand. Great, great background. While we have this out, let's go ahead and grab our blending brush and our pool party, and we're just going to continue adding some more color to the top. So I just tap that in my ink, I do a little tap off, and we'll do circular motions to create some sky. And it's just really light. If you want to have even more, you can even add some to our parts in our water. If you want just a little bit more color there. I'm going to blend it in that spot that didn't come completely off. There we go. So super, super subtle, but it's just an extra step if you want to complete that look. Okay, let's set this one aside and let's go ahead and stamp our little guy here. our little square. This one is super fun. We have this really long piece that is used to make a lake or water or anything for our sailboat to float on. It is very similar looking to our background that we did, but a little bit different. And it is, like I said, really long. I have the eye block for this one. We're gonna grab our pool party again. And what we're gonna do this time is ink this up. You can ink up the whole thing if you want, or just the part that you'll need for this one. And I'm going to stamp it off once. So you can see it's super juicy. I don't want it to be that dark. I'm going to stamp it off here on the bottom. And then we're going to go right about here and stamp it on there. Perfect. Still pretty dark, but not too bad. Then we have this little piece right here on the edge. I'm going to create a little cloud by putting that one right there. Oh, I love it. Okay, then we'll grab a wipe and clean this part off. This is a reusable wipe that I just get damp, and then I can use it over and over again. It is wonderful. Let's close that off, and let's grab our Daffodil Delight. Let's have this ink here. Open this one up, and we are just going to ink this up in the center mostly. We're going to stamp it off. This one I didn't, so it's a really bright yellow for that one. I'm going to tone this sun down just a little bit. So we inked it, stamped it off, and now we're going to go to this corner and create a cool looking sun coming from that side. If you didn't get all the way, you can go over it just a little bit more each time. There we go. Because we just want that whole corner to be colored in that yellow there. All right, looking very artsy. We just need to add our birds to this scene, and I like to use the Early Espresso, which is the same color that I used for my sailboat bottom, and so it matches nicely. Let me grab our cute little birds here. Let's ink those up, and we're going to put it right here into our clouds, right about there. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this to our mat. Grab some liquid glue. Flip it over and put it on there. Having all 4 pieces have a border all along it. And then let's go ahead and add our pieces to build our sailboat here. So we're gonna grab our dimensionals for this part. We want that to look like it's popping up a little bit, and we'll need our paper scissors or scissors that you use with adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and just trim off some of these edges here, or you can cut one dimensional in half. So I'm going to just take it and cut it right there, because we don't need this whole strip here to be super big. We'll flip over our center of our sailboat and carefully add our dimensionals to just the bottom. Don't worry about adding it to the top sail. You do not need it there. Okay, remove the backings. Flip it over and put it into our water. So I want it to be in the water, but I don't want it to cover up too much. I probably could have gone over just a little bit more. We might be covering our birds here. That's okay, we'll play with it. We'll see how it turns out. Flip over your sails, put one dimensional on the back of each of those. And let's get our small sail on the right. And we're just going to overlap our bottom part and a little bit of our top to where underneath the flag here. There we go. And the pressure of this is keeping our center of our sailboat in place. Remove the backing here. Again, we're going to have it just overlap that part a little bit. So that way our sail doesn't need any adhesive on that spot. Oh, I love it. Look how cool that looks and how that 3D. And look, our birds are still there. We're still good. Flip this guy over. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of it. He'll be ready when it's time to attach. All right. Let's go ahead and grab our piece here. We're going to use I always say it wrong. It's a Banners Pick a Punch. It's this awesome punch here that creates different bannered ends by sliding it in, and there's different sizes that you can choose. So this is the 1-inch side. So I'm going to slide this part in, and then you're going to flip it over. So you can see how it's lined up. See, look how crooked when I first put it in. You want to straighten that out by watching from the back. Right about there. Perfect. Then I'm going to punch it upside down. So you watch it punch out towards me, and now we have a perfect bannered edge. So that is nice. If you don't have that, you can use use your paper snips to create that banner, but I love that, how easy that is. Okay, we are almost done. Let's attach this to our mat here. I have to laugh and let you know that I am going to be changing my summer times. School is out, kids are home. The best times for me will start being actually 11 a.m. on Pacific time. Just because my kids will be busy at that time and my videos will be a lot more quiet. So I apologize if you hear anything in the background today. I'm just happy to be here. I took the week off for graduation and celebrations, and we had lots of family in town. So last week I did not get a stamp at all, or very much I should say. So I'm glad to be back. All right, so we just added liquid glue to add this to our card base. Let's go ahead and flip this over with our dimensionals on it and add this. I want this to be in the water just a little bit, like that. For this one, I had my water above it. Okay, so you can see the comparison here. So it just depends on where you stamped your background stamp and how far you want it down. So I have that one there. Flip this one over when you add our dimensionals. And for this one, I had it go all the way to the edge where the Bermuda Bay mat lies. This time, I think I'm going to change it up just to see how we like the difference. And I'm going to have it line up with where I have our sailboat edge or mat above it. So that way our banner's coming off a little bit more this way. And I do think I like that better. Just be careful with your spacing. Try to get as even as you can. And then lastly, we just are going to use our awesome pebbles to create a cute little sand look here. So just grab 3. It doesn't matter which shape they are, but 3 of them for sure. I have one there. And make a cute little cluster of pebbles. Usually you see seashells at the beach, but you would be surprised of how many rocks there are. And in fact, I went to Oceanside Beach down near San Diego yesterday, and there was a whole beach that it just covered with rocks. Smooth rocks, but rocks nonetheless. I'll try to share a photo with that, you guys, on my Facebook too, and on my blog, so be sure to check that out. I'll share that photo with you. All right, there we go. Oh, such a cool card. Fun fact about the stamp set, when you order this Let's Set Sail stamp set for the month of June, it is also my stamp set of the month. So order it and I will send you a card kit to make 4 cards using your stamp set. This is a bonus card idea because you're using that background, which isn't necessary to have with my kit. My kit will be everything you need. I will send to you. You just need to use your own inks and adhesives and the stamp set that you got. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Be sure to order, get your free Pebbles enamel shapes from me when you order today, and have a great, great week. Happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.